Okay, so we're about to head into this tower, and in terms of my equipment, so you want faint protection going into this place. So I've mostly got that. I could probably afford to switch over the Vajra to something else, actually, but we won't be needing the faint protection until the actual end boss. Zed is the one who has the gladiator belt, because I want to spam Thunder God Kick. And he's taken some of the equipment that we found, and Shera has the art set up, as well as Crimson Iron Buzzer. Now, I've actually geared up Estelle for a bit more of a caster-based setup. I have Earth Wall on her now, as well as Clock Up EX and Clock Down. And as for Shera, she has a whole bunch of stuff. Orbital Down is good, as is Clock Down, and she also has Death Scream. I've got Mind 4 for both the ATS boost and also the water art, because most of the enemies in here are going to be weak to water. The downside of water weak enemies is that there aren't a lot of good AoE water arts. In fact, let me just quickly check, yeah, like, there seem to be only 2 area of effect damaging water arts, Diamond Dust and Cocytus, and we're not getting Cocytus at this point in the game, so yeah, Diamond Dust is kind of the best you've got, but even then it's only a small area and kind of low damage. And Zen mostly just has attack and defense buffs as well as move 3, which is always useful for someone like him. I would have action 3, but I decided to get a second EP cut 4 instead. So, let's talk to Faye and get ready to head in. And she's getting straight to the point this time. I'm so glad this thing has railings. Because, yeah, honestly, this would be pretty terrifying without those kind of... I mean, it would be pretty terrifying in general, but... Here we are, Carnelia Tower. And, yeah, no dialogue at all, we're heading straight to it. We have yet another field of distortion. Well, not that weird place, but a weird place. Oh no, it sure won't be. Carnelia Altered Space is even more confusing than the Esmelis one. Does look very cool, though. I love how the teleporters almost look like fire. So here we are, in Carnelia Tower's Altered Space. The downside of this place is there are no Shining Palms here. As I mentioned before, they only show up in the first and the last towers. But look at this! Just take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this ring of chests. A whole bunch of Seepith. You have returned! The pact is sealed! Your firstborn child is mine! Okay then. Purging Balm. You open the chest to find a message scrawled in blood along the underside of the lid. Whoever took my stuff will pay! Huh. Well, the chests here are brutal. Tyrrell Balm. You find only a bleak, empty void. Celestial Balm. You open the chest, realize you already looted it, then angrily slam the lid back down. Well, I guess I was about to say that one's probably the nicest of all of them, but that still has anger in it. Reviving Balm. There's nothing in this chest, but you look so excited to open it that I didn't have the heart to tell you earlier. Smelling Salts. Everything that mattered in here is gone. EP Charge. No! Give it back! That was my spleen! Okay, that one was pretty good after the kind of darkness of all of the other ones. Seriously, that's the edgiest cluster of chests I've ever seen. Nothing much here, but things will change. So the first thing to do in this second area is to head up here, because I believe this leads... Yep, this is just a dead end in one chest. But we have new enemies here. Well, new variants of old enemies. Broken PC. These things are immune to fire arts, but honestly, I don't really find fire arts are all that great in this game anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and... suppose I can probably get away with just using this and save on EP a bit. And I just realized I should probably equip the Sapphire Talisman on at least somebody. Oh, and I forgot to heal everyone after I open their slots, so Shera's a little bit down on EP right now, but she isn't anymore. Okay, let's go ahead and equip that Talisman on... Oh, that's gonna be fun. I don't think I need the Grail Locket just yet, so I can go ahead and equip the Sapphire Talisman. This is gonna be so fun. But in here we get an EP charge. Nothing but nothing. That sounds like a Seinfeld quote, weirdly enough. I watched a few episodes of that show ages ago, but then I kind of stopped. I was like a teenager at the time, so... Yeah, that was actually quite a while ago. Oh, great, more exploding, arts users. Let's go ahead and try and get you anti-septed. Yeah, that's not gonna work, thankfully for us. Yeah, I'm gonna save up my stuff for Thunder God Kick. Oh, hey, I can mute things just by punching them. Okay, there we go. That's gonna make things a lot easier. Yeah, why not? And now we just have to spam some water art on this thing. I mean, water is good for single target damage, so it has that going for it. It's just not good for AoE damage. But it does have healing, so I suppose that kind of makes up for it. Now, look at that move 3 putting in work. The thing is, though, Earth is good for both single target and AoE damage and has Earth Walls, so... Yeah, I still feel like I wish Fire had more going for it. It's got the attack buffs, and that's pretty much everything it really has. Okay, we have a teleporter here. We don't want to take it just yet, though. We want to go a little bit further on and run into these things. The thing about the towers is the enemies here aren't actually all that strong, so it's actually not that hard to grind for the boss fights for lower level party members. We get a Curia Balm in there. There is nothing in the chest. Nothing! Now shoo! Shoo! Okay, that should be everything down this path. But once we go through this teleporter though, things start getting a little bit weirder. This will lead us to kind of a central hub area of the Carnelia altered space. And you can see down there, there's like an outer ring. Firstly, though, I want to take care of this thing. See, Shera's getting caught up pretty quickly. If there is one thing I'll say that's negative about these towers, it's that I kind of wish they changed the battle theme, because this one doesn't really fit. Like, the normal battle theme doesn't really fit these areas. I'll talk a little bit more about unfitting music in these towers in the third tower, because that one's a little bit unique and I won't have as much to talk about there. But we have a variant of the gun doll here. That certainly wasn't in the previous tower. Gundoll C. My guess is this stands for Crimson. Calls for backup if it sustains damage. Okay, we want to take that thing out quickly, but I think it's got a lot of... Oh no, it actually doesn't have that much HP. So I guess a few good blue impacts should do it. Gonna make you a priority, because anything that summons things is always a priority to take out. And now it's Thunder God. Nope, you are just out of Thunder God kick range, unfortunately. But I can at least punch you and do nothing, because I missed. And, well, I can go for Heaven's... Oh, wow, Zin's just in Heaven's Kiss. That's actually really nice. Yeah, I just want this thing to go as soon as possible, because I don't want to have to deal with more reinforcements. And doesn't even explode, so yeah, not really that much of a threat, honestly. Like I said, the enemies in these towers are actually not that bad. It's really the bosses you have to worry about, and I am kind of glad they structured it that way, because it means that your lower level party members get a chance to catch up in levels fairly easily before these pretty tough boss fights. Did you know that this treasure chest is an S-rank bracer? Yes, treasure chests have their own bracer guild, and this chest is legendary. Well then, I wonder what exploits it's achieved. Genbu Shell, finally, Zin actually has a good weapon. Well, it's only slightly better than what he had before, but it's still pretty decent. This chest is empty. Not even half empty, just plain empty. And Suzaku Bow, a weapon for someone who's not here right now. There's nothing in the chest, but the air inside is strangely humid. I am staying far away from that bow now. Speaking of Kevin, if I was, playing purely objectively right now, I would definitely be using Kevin for pretty much all of the towers. He is just that good, and he's amazing in the boss fights. We're not going to take the central teleporter just yet. We're going to go down here because we have some data crystals to collect. The outer ring here consists of data crystals, and all of these are, I'm pretty sure, optional. Lakeside Underground Facility. So yeah, the first thing here says, in order to make the seal mechanism into a reality, it can be quite easy to figure out what these things say, so try if you want to, but it may spoil some later revelations. Okay, that's Data Crystal 4. We're getting them in reverse order, it seems. You might notice Joshua is still gaining practically nothing from these fights, so yeah, this game's rubber band experience scaling in effect. I suppose that does lead me to a bit of a tangent that I can go on here. Like, the way that works, I said this before, that I know that some people like to be able to grind their way through problems, and they do like it when RPGs give you that ability. But one thing I like about this game is, it's very quick for party members to catch up to the expected level for whatever point you are at in the game. And the reason why I like that is that it means that you don't need, this is a very long game. This game is roughly 85 or so hours on a 100% run. A lot less if you're not caring about 100%, but yeah, I'd estimate it's about that much. Pretty much all of my 100% playthroughs amounts to the exact same amount of time, and it's pretty much around that much. Just like FC amounts to about 55 to 60 hours on a 100% run. That's quite a lot, but the thing is, one thing I love about the Trails games is that, yes, they are absurdly long, but I feel like very little of that time is wasted, if that makes any sense. Generally speaking, whenever I put hours into these games, those hours will always be spent either completing side quests or making concrete, definitive progress in the story. Very rarely do I fire up one of these games and only spend a couple of hours just grinding levels or farming for item drops. It's one thing that I love about this game's side quests. This game is pretty light on tedious fetch quests, and not a lot of side quests require a lot of farming. Some of them do, but the few that of those that there are usually are at least for drops that are relatively common, or are things that you'd probably have found from enemies anyway. I feel like the drop rates in general on enemies are quite high in the Trails games, and that definitely helps both for cooking and for side quest items.
Savor the victory.
Okay, nice, another level for Shera. So, even when I spend a few hours in these games and all that time is spent doing side quests, I still feel like that time was spent well, because the quests, again, they're not really that tedious. It's usually just go to this place, beat this monster, or talk to a few NPCs in town, and they usually reveal nice story information, or the monster quests tend to be pretty fun fights for most of the time. It's just I feel like I would describe the Trails series as a series for people with a lot of time to spare, but not a lot of time to waste. And I know that sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but I personally don't think so. Yes, you do spend a lot of hours in these games, and these games are a huge investment, especially when you're, playing the whole series for a while. Yeah, you might notice up there's a whole area with chests, but we can't get to there just yet. But all that time that you spend on these games feels well spent. And, I'm starting to realize that when I've been lately playing a bit of Persona 4. As you search the empty chests inside, it just gives you, in case you missed something last time, it gives you a splinter. I'll pause that tangent for a bit while I read these chest quotes. Insulating tape. You lift the chest over your head and shake as hard as you can, but nothing comes out. Well, it was an impressive display of strength, at least. Softening balm. You see a single tear roll down its treasure chest cheek. Wait a second, chests don't have tear ducts. Yeah, because that's what you should be worried about at that instance. And this one is monsters, so I'm gonna go ahead and EP charge Joshua, just so I'm ready for that. Okay, yeah, more of... Oh, there's 3 of the SC series Doom. And a bunch of other things. So now is the... Would also be the perfect time for Black Fang, but yeah. Not quite at 200 CP here, but this could also be a perfect opportunity for Thunder God Kick, provided that these enemies cooperate and bunch up. No, you're staying still, you're also staying still, but can I get Thunder God Kick in against... No, because a lot of you are so big that you take up most of Thunder God Kick's area. I guess I'll just, True to Stand then. So then that I was saying, like, don't get me wrong, I love Persona 4, but there were a few times playing that game where I spent like 2 to 3 hours just grinding materials for certain side quests, and it just made me realize how much I don't do that in the Trail series. Like, how much that's not necessary. And I am definitely heaven's kissing right now, even though all that does is get Zin back into the turn order. Zin is being targeted by something, I think, but... Okay, here's my plan. That should take you out. Yeah, I might actually switch over to Black Fang. But yeah, some people like spending hours in games just grinding for materials, or just, like, I don't know, I've talked about this kind of thing before, like, as some people say, goofing off. That's just not what I like to do. Sure, it's empty now, but maybe if you checked it again... Sure, it's empty now, but maybe if you checked it again... Yeah, no, that's... I'm not gonna let that get all... I'm gonna have to heal here. Yeah, it's personally one of the reasons why I didn't particularly enjoy Breath of the Wild. Like, a lot of people like being able to spend, like, 5 hours just walking around the world and picking up Korok seeds, but to me, it's just like... When I spend that long playing a game, I want to make clearly defined progress, and that doesn't count just finding 1 or 2 collectibles. It's just, I don't know, it's just how I am as a gamer. I'm very order over chaos, as you can probably tell. When you stare too long into a chest, the chest stares back at you. Well, the last one had tear ducts, so, guess that one had eyes. The chest is angry at being robbed. It demands you build it a shrubbery! There are actually more multi-hyphen references in some of the chest quotes. I feel like the localizers were probably fans of that. Okay, she's level 66 now. Celestial Balm. The chest is empty as your soul. Teal Balm. As you crack the lid of the chest, you hear a sound like the collective wailing of editors. You let the lid drop, sealing the sound away forever. That might be another localization team in joke. Okay, so those are all the chests there. Now that I'm actually going through it, Carnelia Tower is a lot more linear than I remember it being. It's actually not that bad if you know where to go. This area, though, splits into 2 a bit.
They messed with the wrong guy.
Wait, why did I say split into 2 a bit? There's no, like, degrees of how you can split into something. I just noticed the wing crest down there. That's actually really interesting. We are starting to get into a little bit of the lore of how the Laburl Kingdom came to be and things like that. Okay, I know which of these warps to take first. There's a central one, and there are ones on either side. This one here pretty much dead ends immediately, so we're gonna take that one first. Yeah, all it does is lead to a thing in the middle of nowhere with 2 chests. EP charge 2, you took a gamble on something being in this chest, and I'm afraid you lost. Well, we did still get an EP charge 2, so I guess we sort of won, and another Taiji garb. I wish you a wonderful day full of treasure chest plundering. Oh, that's nice. It's always nice when the chests wish you a wonderful day. Yes, nice. Not a sign of you going insane. Okay, that's... Yeah, lower arts defense is totally worth it. I mean, you know, well, what's Volta gonna do? Use arts on us? Yeah, not really. Actually, he does have one move that might... I don't think it's arts damage. Real men stand there and take explosions to the face.
Oh, are you done already?
And level up from it. Okay, that was pretty well timed. I was thinking, okay, it would be really cool if Zen actually levels up from that, and he did. Okay, we have a teleporter there, but through here we have absolutely nothing. Okay, then. Yeah, they do fake you out a little bit sometimes, but you do want to make sure to explore every nook and cranny. I still love this part of the song, and yeah, that side thing meant that we got caught and warped again. And the cubes floating in the air too, it's really like a really unique looking area. You tell the chest to say, and it obliges. Everything seems to be in order here. Okay, we can see another chest up there, but can't quite get to that yet. Tyrrell Bomb. I don't think there's an open every chest in the game trophy, but even if there were, you've already opened this one. There is! Thing is, though, the achievements / trophies, I think this says trophy because this game was originally, I think, translated with the PSP in mind, but yeah, the achievements were only added in the Steam version, so I'm guessing, yeah, that quote was written before the achievements were a thing. And more Blue Falcons! If you want something badly, you're gonna have to sign this legally binding contract. Let's run, now. Actually, I wonder what a legally binding contract with Captain Falcon would look like. Anyway, okay, that's gonna be a debuff to your ATS, which is fine, but it's a buff to your speed, which is great. Yeah, like, I alluded to this before, but they give you a lot of speed boosting equipment now, and your speed stats definitely get exponentially higher at this point in the game. You will need it. In fact, if we look at our monster notebook, which I just realized there's no button shortcut for, I think they're under, yeah, they're under Ouroboros. Ouroboros has its own section. So, Blue Blunk's stats, yeah, he had 47 speed. That's on hard mode, but still. And he's actually one of the slower enforcers.
We're good to go.
Okay, so now we can finally take the central warp here. We are getting close to being done with this place. But now we have a path that splits into 3. Well, one of them dead ends quickly, so let's go for that one. Zerum powder, always nice to have. The empty chest stomach gurgles. Let's go away. What is it with the chest here and having body parts / being alive in general? Okay, I'm gonna take this path first. I just kind of have a feeling that I should be taking this path first, although it probably will be wrong.
Done already?
EP Charge 2. This chest's proud possessions have already passed to some wandering adventurer's satchel. Probably yours. Unless we have some kind of weird person who's hijacking our bag and transmitting things straight from ours to theirs. Oh, hi there, very easily missed chest. With monsters in it. Okay. This is actually... Yeah, I am being a bit of a wimp here, but I need to EP charge Joshua now, and I also want to set his S-Brake to Black Fang. Okay then, this is another one of those exact same configurations of enemies, so I'll see you after this fight's done. Well, I can get 2 things in Thunder God Kick. It's better than nothing. Much better than nothing.
Seems you came up short.
I am 4 experience off of Shara leveling up, really. But out of that, we get Long Barrel 3. We've already looted this chest right down to the bare bottom. Now I'm just picturing, like, Olivier or Tita with a ridiculous number of those equipped and just having, like, all of these giant gun extensions just stuck onto the end of their weapon. Anyway, so down here, still more in the way of chests. I'm gonna go ahead and heal. Tyrrell Balm. Watch out! This chest has nothing to lose. There's no telling what it might do. That's still one of my favorite ones.
That's that. Let's move out.
Okay, Zin's also pretty close to another level. So, gotta make sure to get that soon, because he's gonna be in for the fight of his life coming up.
Seems you came up short.
These enemies also seem to drop Tyrrell Balms. Sapphire Gem! Not exactly shy, are you? So, I knew we'd be getting one of those sooner or later. That is our first level 3 quartz. The Sapphire Gem, if we can find it in here. Yeah, requires level 3 slot. It is effectively mined 5. So, who you can't use that? The only one who can use that right now is Joshua, and the only slot I've upgraded is, yeah. I actually forgot which of the level 3 quartz you got first, but that's definitely going in onto Chloe or Kevin the next time we use one of them. Actually, kind of annoying that I can't use that on anyone now, but it's going to be great for later. Now, right now, we can't actually synthesize any of those. So, we have a very limited number of them available.
Oh, are you done already?
Tyrrell Balm? I'm not so sure you understand the definition of empty. Finally, a good formation of enemies for this.
Savor the victory. We earned it.
Okay, heading down here, we get another chest. Yin Yang. Look, I know I don't have anything, but we can still hang out, right? Wait, come back! Yeah, Yin Yang is kind of a strange course to be getting now, because we already had one of those from Chloe, and its overall bonuses aren't exactly the best. I prefer ones that raise time for, you know, obvious reasons. Okay, we are actually very, very close to the... That was a surprise attack, apparently. Oh well, Joshua at least needs to charge up his, CP before the big fight. And making this sound like a boxing match, and in a way, it kind of is. Oh wow, Joshua actually leveled up! No, I know he gets true Black Fang soon, but... doesn't seem like he gets it quite yet. Tyrrell Balm? Well, hello! Welcome to Treasure Chest Village! You sure are a funny-looking treasure chest. That reminds me of, Thames/Mr. Saturn's. Proxy Puppet, that's actually pretty useful. If this chest could talk, it would say, "You took my stuff already." Now, I know Proxy Puppet was one of the last chests in this place, so we're getting close to being done. Yep, that is our final teleporter. And I love that glow there, it just looks really cool. But there was one branch that I didn't quite take, and as you can see, there is a chest there. Tyrrell Balm. You briefly wonder how many jelly beans you could fit in a treasure chest of this size. Yeah, memories of some, like, paint companies that had competitions to win a paint tin full of jelly beans come to mind, which sounds really disgusting, and they'd probably go off quickly. But that is all of Carnelia Altered Space. since we won't be coming back here, obviously we're going to go ahead and make a save, just in case we missed any chests. But I'm going to have a quick look at my actual Steam achievement totals to see if I'm on track for chest completion. And assuming that I am, I will see you next time when we face off against Volta the Direwolf.